Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head to Dodge City, Kansas for an episode of Gunsmoke starring William Conrad as Marshal Matt Dillon. This episode talks about Joe Fye, and this episode was originally broadcast August 9th, 1954.
Gunsmoke. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely. Hello, Doc. Kitty.
Hello, Matt. Well, how you like my new buggy, Matt?
That's a nice rig.
Nice. It's a beauty.
Yeah, it sure is.
Doc took me for a drive up the Arkansas a ways, Matt. This buggy ride's about as easy as anything I was ever in.
Yeah, it's okay. For summer.
Sure, it's okay. No. Well, what do you mean for summer?
Well, you can't drive that thing around in the snow, can you, Doc? You wouldn't even get out of Dodge with it.
Come snow, I'm not leaving, Doc.
I never saw weather stop you yet, Doc. But don't pay any attention to the marshal. He's just talking because he'd like to have one.
I wouldn't even get into one of them unless I had a busted leg.
Listen, I don't know why we stopped to talk to him at all, Kitty. And besides, I thought you were supposed to have left town, Matt.
I'm leaving right now, Doc.
What? Where you going, Matt?
Chester and I are riding over to a place called Elkader.
What for?
Well, word came in that Kerry Post is holed up over there.
Kerry Post? I never heard of him.
He's a killer from the Dakota Territory. Elkader's as far south as he's ever come. I don't know him, Kitty. All I got's his picture on a wanted poster.
Oh, hello, Marshal.
Hello, John.
I was in Elkader once, Matt. Oh, it's a nice little town.
Yeah, so I've heard.
At least if you've never been there, nobody knows you. And you can ride in free and easy. And...
That ought to help some.
Yeah, it will, Kitty. A lot.
Good luck, Matt.
Thanks, Kitty. I'll see you when I get back.
So long, Matt.
I swear, Mr. Dillon, this Elkader's dustier than Dodge is. I couldn't hardly see to breathe out there in the street.
You couldn't what?
I can't do nothing but think about a glass of beer.
Now, what'll you have, gentlemen?
You got any beer?
Of course we have.
Well, that's a delight to hear.
Make it two, bartender.
Okay.
Hey, who's this fella coming over, Mr. Dillon?
Hey, you men are strangers here, ain't you?
Yeah, we are.
Of course you are. I've lived here all my life, man and boy. And I ain't never seen neither one of you.
Well, I guess that explains our never having met.
Well, Grimes is my name. Cicero Grimes. I ain't asking yours, now don't get me wrong.
Oh, we haven't got anything to hide. My name's Dillon, and this is Chester Proudfoot.
How you do?
Welcome to Elkader, gentlemen. And I'll tell you something else. You buy me a beer, and I won't ask you no questions, but I'll talk to you. Providing you're honest, of course. I won't talk to no crook.
Well, we're pretty honest, Grant.
Cicero'll do.
Okay. Bartender, will you make that 3 beers, huh?
Well, I thank you, Dillon. And you too,
Chester.
Chester.
Elkader's a pretty lively town, huh, Cicero?
Well, it was and it ain't.
What?
It was lively and it ain't no more.
Oh. Well, why's that?
Joe Fye, he done it. Come here 2 weeks ago and there ain't been a fight since.
Yeah, 3 beer.
Here you are, bartender. Tell me about this Joe Fye, Cicero.
Oh, Joe Fye don't bother me none, Dillon. I'm a peaceful man. I don't even carry a gun. It's the wild ones. Fellas like Carrie Post and such all that Joe Fye gets after.
Did you say Carrie Post?
Easy, Chester.
It's all right. Carrie Post ain't here no more. Joe Fye run him out of town right off. He run 3 other fellas out, too.
Oh, what for?
'Cause he won't stand for no disorder, that's why. And they was all gunmen, too. Yes, sir, bad. Carrie Post, he said he'd wait till somebody shoots Joe Fye.
This Joe Fye must be quite a gunman himself, huh?
Ain't none better. Ain't a man in the whole country that'll stand up to him.
Is that so?
Yeah, been here 2 weeks. Nobody's faced him yet.
Well, if nobody ain't faced him, how do you know he's such a good gunman?
Well, you'll find out, Chester, when you see him.
It don't make sense to me.
What's his game, Cicero? Why does he want to run Elkader?
It's his job, Dillon.
His job?
Well, sure. That's what they sent him here for.
Well, who sent him?
The government.
What?
Oh, maybe I didn't tell you. Joe Fye's a United States Marshal.
He's a what?
He's a U.S. Marshal. What's wrong with that?
What? Cicero, maybe you don't know it, but there's only one U.S. Marshal in this whole territory, and he's standing right...
Hold it, Chester. We'll find out what's going on here soon enough.
Yes, sir.
Meantime, don't worry about Joe Fye, huh? He isn't after you.
No, he won't bother you none, Chester. But Dillon here, that's different.
What do you mean?
Well, Dillon looks like a gunman to me. And if there's one thing Joe Fye won't stand for around here, it's a gunman. Yes, sir. He's going to run Dillon right out of town first time he lays eyes on him.
Now that I would like to see. August 9th, 1954, Gunsmoke on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Gunsmoke and Joe Fye. This episode originally broadcast August 9th, 1954.
Chester was right. I was the only U.S. Marshal in that part of the country. So who or what Joe Fye was, I had no idea. But I figured if I kept quiet and waited around a while, I might find out. So Chester and I went over to the one restaurant in town and filled up on hogback and pinto beans, and then found ourselves some shade on the boardwalk facing the main street and sat down. We hadn't been there long when a man dressed in a fine suit of buckskin and wearing a big white John B. Stetson crossed the street and came up to us. He had one gun tied to his hip and another stuck in his belt.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello?
Don't believe I've seen you men in Elkader before.
We've never been here before.
Staying along?
I hadn't thought about it, one way or the other.
You know who I am?
Marshal Fye, isn't it?
Good. You've already heard of me.
Yeah, we have.
And that'll save us time. Gentlemen, I don't like gunmen here.
I ain't no gunman.
I was thinking more of your friend than you.
Now, you move in pretty fast, Marshal.
I mean business, gentlemen. You make trouble here, and I'll kill both of you.
What?
Many a man has died who was a little slow believing me, mister.
You killed a lot of men, huh?
Everyone that's ever crossed me.
And how many's that?
I don't keep count. Doesn't matter.
No, I don't guess it does.
now. There comes a fellow looking for pleasure.
Yeah, he sure is.
I won't tolerate that.
You gonna stop him?
If I have to kill him.
Oh, now you can't do that.
Wait a minute, Chester.
Must be friends of his. They're shutting him up.
They just told him. See, they're pointing over here at me. The man doesn't know. He hasn't been to town since I took over.
Well, he sure calmed down fast enough. There he goes, mild as milk.
You should thank those men for that. They just saved his life.
It's a pretty tight town you keep, Fi.
It's a marshal's job, isn't it?
Well, you're the marshal.
Don't you forget it. Either of you. I trust you've learned what'll happen if you do.
Yeah, I got a pretty good idea. Marshal?
No man's dared fight me yet.
I know. I heard.
And don't forget it. Good day.
So long.
Well, of all the blowed-up, mean, hog-headed men I ever saw.
You know, I don't know whether it's his being smart or everybody else around here being stupid, but it's sure working, Chester.
How do you mean?
He's got them all buffaloed. He hasn't had to fight once. Just see how he handled that cowboy? He let those other men do his work for him. And with us, he waited till he was sure we knew about his reputation before he got tough.
You mean you don't think he's a gunman at all?
Well, I don't know what he is, Chester. But I got an idea how I might find out.
How?
I'll show you. And if I can take care of Joe Fry, then all I have to do is sit here and wait for Carrie Post to ride back to town. The first thing I did was to go to the general store and buy an old Navy pistol. It wasn't much of a gun, and for $5, the storekeeper threw in a worn-out holster and a cartridge belt. He tried to sell me some ammunition, too, but I was afraid the pistol might go off by accident and blow up if anybody was to carry it around loaded. So from there, we went back to the Alamo Saloon and spent the next 2 hours talking to Cicero Grimes. This time, I told him who I was. And after I explained the whole deal to him a couple of times, he seemed willing to sit in.
And there's only one thing I don't like about it, Marshal Dillon.
Oh, what's that?
Well, supposing you guessed it wrong. Supposing Joe Fye is something of a gunman after all.
Oh, don't you worry about that, Cicero. I'll be right there.
Well, it could still go wrong, and if it does, I'll get shot.
Well, that's the chance you're taking to help the law, Cicero. You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Well, you get paid for taking chances, Marshal, and I don't.
No, you don't. But there is one thing. You'll be the kind of hero after.
Say, I will, won't I?
Oh, everybody'll be buying you drinks from here on out, Cicero. Why, you'll be famous, like George Washington and all them fellas.
Yeah. Say, that's kind of getting paid, ain't it?
Sure it is.
Hey, Marshal.
Yeah.
How come you picked me out for this job? I'm a pretty worthless sort of fella.
Oh, no, you're not, Cicero. Maybe you don't do much but just sit around in here and sponge drinks off everybody, but you ain't worthless.
Right now, Cicero, you're the most important man in Elkader.
Oh, Marshal, you're just talking. There's lots of fellas could help you out.
No, there aren't. You're the one man in town that's least expected to stand up to Joe Fye. You've never even worn a gun before.
I sure ain't. I don't believe in guns.
Well, don't you see? This way we'll really show him up, huh?
Well, I guess you're right, Marshal. And I sure hope nothing bad happens.
Well, I promise you that I'll do everything I can, Cicero. But on a deal like this, something can always go wrong. I'm not going to try to fool you about that.
You know, that's what I like about you, Marshal. You don't try to hide nothing from me.
You're all set, then?
I guess so. But I feel sort of funny with this gun on my hip.
Well, you look fine, Cicero.
Well, let's get going. Now, you know what you're going to do now, huh?
Yeah, I got it all, Marshal. At least I think I have.
Well, don't think too hard. Just let it happen. It'll come to you once you get started.
Sure, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just let it happen.
Well, go ahead, then. We'll follow you.
Okay.
Cicero's quite a fella, ain't he, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, he sure is, Chester. Hope I'm right about this. I'd hate to see him get hurt.
Or killed.
Okay, get up there and do his shooting for him, Chester. And then come on back before anybody sees you, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yippee! Yippee! Ho! Hey, Joe Fye! Come on out to play, Marshal! Yippee! Hey, where are you, Fye? Out of your hole! Come on, Pie. That's
All right, that's enough, Chester. That's enough shooting. Come on back.
Yeah, you're scared. That's what's the matter with you.
There he comes, Mr. Dillon. Right across the street.
Yeah.
Come on here when I get you.
What's going on here? What's the matter with you, Cicero?
Ain't nothing the matter with me, Marshal Five.
What are you doing with that gun? Take it off. Take it off, I said, before I kill you.
Go ahead, Pie. Go on. Kill me if you think you can. You didn't know about me, did you? I'll show you who's the gunman around here.
You must be drunk talking like that.
It'd be better for you if I was drunk, but I ain't. I always do my gunfighting plumb sober.
You gone crazy?
I'll tell you something, Joe Pye. The reason I spend so much time in the saloon there is to forget about all the men I killed. Sometimes I can't forget. And then I got to put my gun on and go out and kill me another one.
He ain't making much sense, Mr. Dillon.
It doesn't matter, Chester.
You're
Let him
lying.
talk.
You're drunk and you're lying.
Am I?
Get your hand away from that gun, Cicero. I'm warning you.
Well, I can't shoot without pulling my gun out, can I?
You're not going to shoot anybody, especially me.
Yeah, sure I am. I am. I just told you. I gotta do it, Pye. I'm sorry for you, but I gotta do it.
I've had enough of this. Cicero, you get your hands up before I kill you.
No, you don't. Now, stay away from me.
I never saw a man so eager to die. Now do as I say.
No, I won't do nothing you say. You can't hurt me. You don't know it, but you can't hurt me at all.
I can kill you.
Now, go ahead. Go ahead, try it. Go on. Draw.
There's no man in the world can beat me, and you know it.
I don't know it. I never even seen you shoot. Nobody has. But you're just about to see me.
For the last time, take your hand off that gun.
Now, watch me, Pye. Watch me. I'm just about to draw. I'm about to draw, everybody.
Go on, shoot him, Cicero, and get it over with.
Okay, I will. Yes, sir, that's what I'll do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now.
No. Don't pull that gun. Don't, Cicero.
Don't worry, I'll make it easy for you, Pye. I'll shoot you in the head so you won't suffer so much. Right in the nose, maybe.
No, don't.
Now, you see? There. Now, I got you covered. Why, you didn't even try to draw.
Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Don't shoot, Cicero. Don't shoot me.
I'm going to...
I wouldn't draw on you. I was only fooling.
Yeah, sure. Yes, sir. He was only fooling. But you're all through fooling now, Joe Pye. Here, I'll take those guns of yours. First this one. Now, throw it away. Then I'll take this and do the same thing. There. Come on out, everybody. I got your lion tamed. What are you doing? Now, shut up, everybody. Look at here. My gun ain't even loaded, see? Yes, sir. You're all through here, Joe Pye. Go find your horse and ride him out of town. You ain't no U.S. Marshal anyways. You've been lying the whole time. Now, get going.
Wait here, Chester. I want to talk to Five.
Oh, wasn't nothing to it, men. Y'all got taken in my windbag, that's all.
Five. Wait a minute, Five. I'd like to talk to you a minute.
Leave me alone. Haven't they done enough?
I'm not going to hurt you.
Yes, you are. You're a gunman. And I talked rough to you today. Now you're going to...
Wait a minute, Five. I only want to ask you a couple of questions, and then you can go.
Ask me what?
About this U.S. Marshal business. Was that your idea? I mean, were you alone in this, or did somebody put you up to it?
Well, all my life, I've wanted to be a lawman.
Huh? Why?
I don't know. Maybe so's everybody sort of look up to me. But I knew it couldn't last long. I knew something would happen sooner or later.
Well, if you wanted to be a lawman, why didn't you go be one somewhere? Why did you come here and lie about it?
You don't understand. I couldn't be a lawman, not a real one.
But why not?
Well, you saw what happened with Cicero Grimes.
Yeah, I saw it.
I'm a coward, mister. That's what I am, a coward. Always have been. I couldn't be a marshal, not for long. That'd take somebody like you, maybe. You could be a marshal.
Maybe. But you're saying the only reason that you came here and told everybody you were the law was just a kind of a game you were playing? Sort of like a kid?
Like a kid. I guess you're right. What do you care about me?
What does Matt care? August 9th, 1954, Gunsmoke. The conclusion next on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medi-Share for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medi-Share's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medi-Share is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Gunsmoke. August 9th, 1954, the story of Joe Fye.
I thought you had some other reason for wanting to run this town.
Oh, no. No, I'm not a crook, mister. I never did anything bad.
I believe you, Fye. Where you from, anyway?
Boston.
Boston?
A long time ago. I ran away when I was 15.
I see.
I want to go now, mister. I want to get out of this place.
Okay.
No offense, but I sure hope I never run into any of you people again.
I understand. But there is one thing, Fye.
What?
You go on wearing guns and somebody's going to kill you for sure.
I never wore a gun in my life till I came to Elkader. I always wanted to, but I never dared. You know, it was kind of fun while it lasted.
Yeah. So long, Fye.
So long, mister.
Mr. Dillon?
What, Chester?
We've been here in Elkader most week now, and that carry post ain't showed up yet. How do you know but what he went back to Dakota Territory?
Well, maybe the word about Joe Fye hasn't got to him yet, Chester. But we can't wait much longer.
Well, morning, Marshal.
Now, it's Dillon, Cicero.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
All right, Cicero.
Fat as a fall hog. Say, you know, you fellas was right. Everybody, even the strangers, been doing nothing but buying me drinks and listening to my story. But don't worry, Marshal. I mean, Dillon. I'm real careful about what I tell him.
Oh, you're doing fine, Cicero.
Say, you know something else? The bartender at the Alamo has hung that old Navy pistol I used over the bar. I guess it's kind of famous already.
Well, it ought to be. It made the whole town of Elkader ashamed of itself for getting took in so.
Yes, sir, that's what the bartender says. That's why he put it there. To make him remember, he says.
My goodness alive. Fellow's sure raising a lot of dust. What's he in such a hurry for?
Well, that's... Hey, Marshal.
Yeah, I see him, Cicero.
What is it, Mr. Dillon?
It's Carey Post, Chester. You two stay out of the way now.
Not me, I ain't. No, I'm going to watch this.
Then you sit right there, Cicero. What he means is, don't follow him.
Hello, Post.
I don't know you.
You've been a long time getting back to town.
What are you talking about?
Now, Joe Fye left a week ago. He had you buffaloed, didn't he?
Now, look here.
Shut up. This may upset you some, Post, but I'm a real marshal.
What?
Matt Dillon from Dodge. I've been waiting for you.
No.
And I'm taking you back with me.
What for?
I never even seen you before now.
You're wanted for murder in Dakota Territory. And you know something else? I don't expect one bit of trouble out of you.
Marshal.
I'm taking your gun post. Easy. Just like this.
Sure. Sure, Marshal. I wouldn't make no trouble. Take it.
I got it. Now get back on your horse. We're leaving for Dodge.
Oh, Mr. Dillon, that was the easiest thing I ever saw. How did you know he wouldn't fight?
Post's nothing but a murderer, Chester. He's not a fighter.
Well, you got him. And you got rid of that Joe Fye, too. Him pretending to be a marshal. It was sure worth coming up here.
I don't know, Chester. Joe Fye ran this town pretty well. But the lid's off now. And it's too bad I couldn't have left him alone. He was doing fine.
Gunsmoke, produced and directed by Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Ralph Moody, Vic Perrin, and John Daner. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
August 9th, 1956, Gunsmoke on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, next. Well, we heard just a smidge of John Daner in that episode of Gunsmoke, so let's hear some more John Daner along with Bob Bailey in this episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, The Alder Matter. This episode, part 4 of the 5-part story, originally broadcast August 9th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Dollar? There's Alder here. Must be something the matter with the house phone. I thought I rang a different room.
Doris Cole's room, Mr. Alder?
Well, yes.
That's what you got.
Now, see here, Dollar, you're not questioning that woman. You're badgering her.
We were simply discussing 2 headaches and the value of aspirin. Want to speak to her?
I just wanted to be sure everything was all right. Both of you running out of the nightclub with headaches like that.
Oh, everything's fine. I'd like to speak to you, though.
Sorry, it's late. I have a long day tomorrow.
I'm afraid it's important.
Good night, Dollar.
Are you thinking of arresting me, Mr. Dollar?
I'm not a policeman, Miss Cole.
You act like one. Answering my phone, sneaking into my room while I'm gone.
That evens the score, then. You had a quick look through mine earlier in the day.
Mr. Dollar.
Just what were you looking for, Miss Cole?
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Caracas, Venezuela. To the Home Office, Worldwide Mutual Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the Alder Matter. Expense account continued. Back in my own room, after saying goodnight to a sullen Doris Cole, I didn't feel the slightest qualms about having invaded her room and lying about the reason for it. Why should I? The people in the Alder house didn't seem too concerned with the truth. In fact, the whole case seemed to be a question of lie or say nothing. Consider, Billy Alder had been shot at, indicating he had a good reason to change beneficiaries 5 times in a month. And still, he was the original say-nothing fella. Keep me alive was all I could get out of him. His wife had lied, his daughter had lied, and Doris Cole, an old friend of the family, had just proved to be a walking lie. The passport I'd found in her room had her photograph, all right, but it said she was Dora Jansen. An unsigned letter in the same drawer had stated simply that the Caribbean Star would dock tomorrow. I got into bed, and an odd thought hit me. If the Caribbean Star didn't dock, would the steamship company have joined the Liars Club, too? Expense account item 7, 10 cents. One newspaper bought on the La Guiara docks early next morning. My Spanish is pretty nothing, but I could read the important thing, that the Caribbean Star was due at noon. With time to kill, I drove into Billy Alder's office in Caracas. He hit the ceiling when I told him about Doris Cole's passport. I was suddenly glad I'd mentioned nothing about the letter.
Dollar, how dare you search the room of a guest in my house? How dare you?
Just returning a courtesy.
What?
Mine was searched thoroughly.
Well, that still isn't any reason for your behavior.
Oh, one-way ethics, Mr. Alder?
I've told you repeatedly, Dollar. There's only one reason I want you here.
I know. Keep you alive. But how? With handcuffs on? Now, suppose I told you to find some oil, then refused to let you dig any holes in the ground. You'd begin to smell a rat, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about?
Just about everything in this.
Look, I have a very busy day.
Who is Dora Jansen, Mr. Alder? And why does she call herself Doris Cole?
You're making too much of nothing, Dollar. It isn't a crime to use another name.
That depends on the reason, doesn't it?
She's an old friend.
Oh, who isn't?
Dollar,
Aren't you tired of that tune? For a man who's afraid for his life, you've got more old friends than anyone I ever knew. Also, I haven't noticed anything particularly friendly between you.
Yeah, she's not a well woman, Dollar. I don't want you bothering.
You don't want me bothering anyone.
Exactly.
Not even the one who fired that shot at you. So I can't help getting an impression that you have a pretty good idea of who it might have been.
I told you I was busy, Dollar.
Yeah, but it's what you haven't told me I keep thinking about.
Dollar.
What?
Did you find anything else in that room beside the passport?
Why, Mr. Alder, what's happened to your sense of ethics? There was still plenty of time before the Caribbean Star would be docking, and Billy Alder's reaction had dictated my next move. The cable office in La Guiara suddenly seemed like a very important place to visit. There were too many silent mouths in Caracas, and I needed one that had something to say. Okay, miss. You can take this now.
Si, senor. How you like this to go?
Don't spare the horses.
Okay.
Cable, rush.
Si. Victor Kelly, World...
Yeah, I know my lousy handwriting here. To Victor Kelly, Worldwide Mutual, Hartford, Connecticut, USA.
Si.
Want all possible information, Dora Jansen, a.k.a. Doris Cole, U.S. passport, 19B67943-11, signed Dollar.
And your address for the answer?
I'll pick it up here.
As you wish.
And lady, please.
No, senor. Don't spare the horses.
It was still early when I reached the waterfront where the Caribbean Star would soon be docking. There wasn't much point in watching the incoming passengers. I didn't even know who I was looking for. So I found a spot at the pier entrance where I could concentrate on those meeting the passengers. Here I made a grudging concession to all movie detectives. Item 7, another 10 cents, another newspaper to hide behind. And you know something? It works fine. Doris Cole, or according to that passport, Dora Jansen, was nervous, excited. And there was no trouble to stay close behind her as she met a passenger, a short, nondescript man in his late 50s. When they jumped into a cab and hurried away from the pier, they were closely followed by a man clutching an unread newspaper. Me. The trip was a short one, about 6 or 7 blocks away. The cab in front pulled up at a cheap hotel on the waterfront. I circled the block once, got rid of my cab, and wandered into the dismal lobby. The fat, sleepy clerk made a concession. He opened one eye.
See, you look for something.
Yeah, that gentleman who just came in, I had an appointment with him. Oh, darn it, I must have left the slip of paper with his name on it in my hotel. I can't find it.
It's too bad.
You know, the gentleman who just went up to room...
Yeah. You want me to say the number now, huh? Don't you think I ever been to a movie?
Oh, no, really, you can save me a lot of embarrassment. You've got it right there on the register.
See?
Mind if I have a look?
I mind.
Look, friend.
When was the last time you got anything for free, friend?
Oh, why didn't you say so? I was trying not to offend you.
Here.
Here, let me see.
You play blackjack, senor? How you call it? 21?
Yeah, why?
Like they say. Hit me again.
Oh, you're rubbing it in.
See? You want to do business or no?
Item 9, $10. Market schmear, schmooze, or just plain graft. He pointed an oversized forefinger at a name on the ledger, lost interest in me, went back to sleep. Arthur Singer, it said. Room 8. I went up the stairway. A few seconds later, I moved as quietly as I could down the grimy second-floor hallway, stopped at the door of number 8. At first, I heard nothing. Then, after a long minute, the voices began, angrily, as though resuming an old argument.
I don't know.
Then let me handle it.
No, but what about him? Suppose he
What
knows.
does he does? You want it all to go for nothing? Now you listen to me. I know what I'm doing.
5 minutes later, I was back in the cable office getting a second message off to Vic Kelly in Hartford. It was a request for anything he could possibly dig up on Arthur Singer. I didn't hope for too much because it would probably turn out to be an alias, but it was an angle I couldn't afford to overlook.
You're not back for answer so soon, senor.
Oh, no, I just want you to get this one off. Same fella.
And same way, no spare the horses?
That's it. And thanks.
It's nada. Oh, senor, I want to ask you something.
Shoot.
Your business partner, did I do something to displease him? He seemed so angry.
My who seems so what?
Well, he was so nice at first, but after he read the
Wait a
message...
minute, hold everything. First of all, I have no business partner.
Oh, then I make terrible mistake.
Oh, just tell me what happened.
Well, this man, he come in less than a minute after you leave, was very nice.
Yeah?
Said he was your business partner, that he just leave you. You were worried because you forgot whether you say something in the message you just sent. Then you asked him to check it for you. He seemed to know what he was talking.
So you showed it to him. Then,
That is when he got so angry. He just put it down and leave.
what did he look like?
A little less tall than you, and he have gray hair.
Eyeglasses?
See, eyeglasses.
Gray suit?
See, senor, gray suit. You know him.
I'm beginning to wonder if anyone really does.
I am so sorry for my mistake, senor.
Oh, forget it. It wasn't your fault. Just send that second message.
See, senor.
About the answers. Send them to me at William Alder's house as soon as you get them. Maybe we'll read them together. Sure. Billy Alder was my new business partner. Alder, the original close-mouthed fella. But it looked like there was nothing wrong with his brain or his eyesight. Then suddenly I didn't mind that he'd read my message to Vic Kelly, because a frightened man usually reacts at the extreme ends of the scale. He'd been at the let's-do-nothing end. Maybe he'd now go the other way. There was one more step I could make on the waterfront, so I made it. My credentials presented at the steamship offices got me a look at the passenger list of the Caribbean Star. The name Arthur Singer wasn't on it. I started down the small waterfront street to where my car was parked. My mind was full of Billy Alder and the pieces of this crazy puzzle, tugging one way, pulling another. Trying to make sense out of it somehow, I used some sort of slide rule where logic could be a solid base. No matter how I twisted it, I knew one thing. It just wouldn't work. I didn't have enough yet to make it work. I was just reaching for the door handle when I saw his reflection in the car window. The man who'd sneaked up behind me, blackjack raised high in the air. The blackjack was just insurance. He was tough enough without it. I finally worked up to the side of the car, managed a half Nelson, and let the car door workers my blackjack. 5 seconds later, an officer came rushing up, and 5 minutes later, I sat in the office of Jefe Velasquez, chief of police.
You feeling all right now, amigo?
Yeah, sure. What did you get out of that blackjack artist?
Just what I expected.
Still won't say who hired him, huh?
You have to understand this kind of fellow, amigo.
I do, huh?
What I mean, he's asesino pequeño, you know?
Cheap hood, mobster?
Sí. For extra $2, maybe 3, he would blackjack his mother. He claims he does not know who hired him, that he is to get his money in a letter.
That went out with spats.
Okay?
I say he's lying.
Of course, but he will stick to the story because he knows he will get the same sentence whether he tells or he does not.
A cheap hood won't usually cover for somebody else.
This kind does, amigo. Otherwise, he would never be hired again.
I'd give a lot for a few minutes alone with him, Jefe.
Sorry, Juanito, but I like my job.
Just wishful thinking.
Not hard to understand.
Well...
You are leaving?
Not getting anywhere sitting here. You sure you haven't got business somewhere else? I got an awfully big yen to talk to that thug. You know, I got a hunch.
Forget it, amigo. It's like I say. If you ask him on a Monday what is the day, he must tell you Tuesday. You could beat him to death, he will still say Tuesday. Is the way they think.
Jefe, a favor.
If I can.
Suppose I don't prefer charges. Would you put a tail on him when he leaves?
Johnny.
Look, I know it's 1,000,000 to 1 against the hood doing a rough-up without the money in hand, but if he hasn't collected you...
Come, amigo, like you say, 1,000,000 to 1.
I know I'm grabbing at straws, but just in case, Jefe, come on, huh?
Okay.
Good, thanks.
Hey, where do you go?
Back to the cable office.
Oh?
Yeah. And if a man in Hartford has nothing to say, I've got a permanent seat behind the 8 ball.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a puzzle never fits itself together. You've got to snoop, pry, and juggle the pieces. And sometimes people get killed that way. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Tony Barrett. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
August 9th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Would you thank this station and support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. You can find all of our shows on demand at classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows. You can learn more about Classic Radio collecting there. You can contact me there. You can find all of our social media links. You can find lists of many of the places where our shows are available for download. And if you'd like to help this show grow, you can buy me a coffee there. That coffee money goes toward building great classic radio theater collections for new shows that you can hear right here. Thank you for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.